Dad's Gaming Podcast.
And welcome to the Delirious Dad's Gaming Podcast. I'm Clinton Stanley here. Tonight we've got Ryan Maddox here with us.
What is up? What is up? I'm ready for tonight. I'm kind of in double time, and you know why.
Oh, yeah. I'm pumped. But unfortunately tonight, our boy Hunter is sick, kind of having a rough day, and so he will not be able to join us for the podcast.
I think he's listening in. He's probably just not feeling good enough to really chime in with conversation. Who knows how his throat's feeling. He may need to get up and run to the bathroom or, blow it out both ends. Not to get too graphic, but I already did.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, we are glad that everybody's tuning in tonight. It should be exciting. We got a lot planned for you. A lot going on in the gaming world, and we actually played some games this weekend, so...
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, it was a good time. But Ryan, what's been going on with you, buddy, over the last week?
Oh, sad things, to be honest.
Oh,
and when
yeah?
I say sad things, I mean like real work. Like I'm busy most of the time being self-employed doing what Clint calls, quote, work. But now I'm actually shifting into real work where it's company stuff. I do advertising and calendar stuff for those of you who don't know. Like I make these little mini, they're not mini, but I call them mini because they're for small towns. But they're calendars for little towns all over the place. And we do advertising and things like that in those calendars. And that revs up right now. So we've been having to kind of get into the paperwork side of things, crack open documents and whatnot, and kind of say, okay, the year's starting whether we like it or not.
Gotcha.
We get to travel to Kansas tomorrow and hit a couple towns and enjoy the scenery.
The old great state of Kansas. Boy, howdy. We have family out in Great Bend, and so that's like a 6-hour drive from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
From
Cornfield
Oklahoma.
Deluxe.
Oh, yeah. So you get a lot of cow poop smells and a lot of corn and a lot of belt lines, tree belt lines, to block the wind and whatnot. Yeah, a lot of farmland out there. It's beautiful, but you can see for a ways, really.
Yeah, there's areas like that out here too. It just seems like most of those are in the, further towards the Panhandle or Enid, or you know what I mean. You go out towards that area, you hit that red dirt, and Oklahoma becomes like the flat plains too.
Right.
You can just kind of see forever. I remember the first time I flew, I looked down and was like, that is weird to look down and see crops, like you can see the fields and the different farms all cut into the landscape, which you've seen in books and stuff like that before, but when you're flying over it, it's definitely a different view. You're like, that is completely different than flying over Cali or somewhere like that where I grew up,
For sure. Oh, man, definitely.
What about you?
Oh, man, just busy with this new job, living life, getting plans together for this new baby. She could come at any moment, so now things are getting real, trying to help the wife with de-stressing and not worrying too much about things. And then just dealing with a kid that's going to be turning 3 in July, So life is exciting, and we just kind of go day by day. But this past weekend had a lot of fun. I know you guys came over and hung out, and we got to play a little Hitman action. It was quite a bit of fun, and went to church, had some fun at church, talked to old Hunter, and we all got to go out to eat lunch. So it was good. It was a good week. But checked out the news. It looks like a lot's going on. So. Tonight should be pretty exciting. It's going to be a little different. I'm going to be bringing the news tonight. We're going to do an Epic Dad segment, talk a little bit about our kids. And then Ryan is actually going to do a little What's Cooking Good Looking tonight for us.
No, I'm not.
Oh, you're not?
No. Why would I do that? I'm going to do What's Cooking Not So Good Looking because Hunter's not here. He's the good looking.
I got you.
I weigh 300 pounds. Did you forget? Not that some people that weigh 300 pounds don't look good. Don't be offended, my larger gamers.
Right.
Just, you don't look your best. Don't lie to yourself.
Hunter put in the chat, so he is listening in. There he is, our boy Hunter. He says, where's the general from? Wow. You're really just going to throw that out there. He's not a general, first off. Okay. So I guess I'll go ahead right into this story. So yesterday after church, we all went out, and Ryan and his wife and Rory came out and joined us at our church yesterday to kind of check things out. So we all went and ate lunch afterwards. And so I don't know if you all have a Kentucky Fried Chicken where you're from, but they
KFC for those of you who are modern.
Yeah, they have different flavors. They have a Georgia Gold, which is like a honey mustard based chicken flavor, and it's really good. And then they have Nashville Heat, Nashville Hot, And so I'm sitting there just lathered with chicken strips everywhere, just wonderful flavors.
Oh, it's a buffet, guys. I don't know if you've enjoyed the delicacy of KFC's buffet, but it's like, and the strips are fresh. They're not even sitting out on the buffet. You just make them as you ask for them.
Right.
Douse them in the sauce. Oh yeah, it's good. Go on with your story though.
Oh, that's okay. So it was really tasty. So I'm sitting there and I had this lapse in my brain. I don't know what I was thinking, but I started thinking, wow, they got this Tennessee heat, this Nashville heat, and they got this Georgia gold, and man, I wonder where the Colonel's been, And so I just openly in front of everybody, I'm just like, hey guys, I'm kind of wondering, where's the Colonel actually from? Not realizing it's Kentucky Fried Chicken, Clint. So yeah,
me and Hunter just look at each other like, had this blank. In all reality, he was just Clint. That's normal for Clint. That's not like something that's out of place or anything like that. So don't believe him.
Yeah.
Brain fart is Clint's middle name.
Not all the time. I think it's because I have this secret ADD that I never got treated for. That's what
It's not a secret anymore now that you've said it.
Well, I
Cat's out of the bag.
think I'm going to pursue it so I can kind of depend on it a little bit, and then it'll get
Oh
me in
yeah,
trouble.
I get it. I get what you're saying. You sure it's not going to be ADHD? Because most people have the H now. Like it's not just ADD.
I don't know. What is the difference? I don't really. I have to ask my wife.
Attention deficit disorder or attention deficit hyper disorder or something like that. Like
so it's ADHD. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So there's one where you don't focus good, and then there's the other where you're just always hyper, and therefore you can't focus.
Right.
Gotcha. Well, hey, if you want to make some money though, you sell that Ritalin in colleges. Boom.
Wow.
That stuff's like hotcakes. Not that I condone that kind of actions, but I hear it's a thing.
You heard it's a thing?
Yeah. Exam time comes. Boom. They're on it. I know someone in medical school says some of them doctors. The ones that want to become doctors, like that's how they survive, man. Just go ahead and take it so they can focus and get through all that info.
Oh, really?
Yeah, crazy times. So I'm like, well, maybe I want to try some.
That makes sense. Doctors that aren't supposed to write scripts for things that aren't needed, taking scripts that aren't needed as they're trying to become doctors. This sounds like a great plan for the future.
Hey, people are people. Whether you're a doc or a lawyer or a, whatever.
Yep.
People are people.
Everybody wants an edge up. I can tell you this. I know for sure, unless it did something, negative to me in a sense of maybe not think clearly somehow, like altered the way I think, not just in a more clear way, but in a backwards way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That movie Limitless?
Yes.
You know how many people would be all about
Bradley
that?
Cooper. Yeah. Yeah.
Is that who's in that movie?
Yeah. That was before he was real famous.
Yeah, the blonde dude. Yeah. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, that movie was good. I think they made a show. I don't know if it did any good, but there was a show.
I like the movie a lot, though. I never checked out the show.
Anyways, guys, what about you, Hunter? Sound the crickets. That's what that was. Hunter's not here. Just reminding you, if you're listening and you forgot right in the beginning that Hunter's not here, now you remember he's not here.
No, okay. What you should have did was, what do you think, Hunter?
I hope he's not sick like that. Hope he's not really that sick.
Hopefully not. I think he's just kind of out of it,
Mm-hmm. He's probably not even really in the chat. He just said a few things in the beginning and then, kind of went and did whatever. That way he can act like he tried. That's what I would do if I was him right now.
He's putting in some kind of weird symbol, but I can't see what that is. So
looks like some little alien head.
Yeah.
He said, I appreciate it, boys.
It's definitely totally millennial.
Yep. Oh, yeah, that is kind of a millennial symbol. For sure. Well, anyways.
With that said, we'll go ahead and move on to the Epic Dads epic results. What do you think?
I think it's good. Real good.
Right. Sounds good to me.
Epic Dads. Epic results.
And it's time for some Epic Dads epic results.
Oh, yeah.
And there's no one more epic than myself.
Yeah, then you go first, man. What you got for us today? Yeah, you're the most epic. I want to hear it.
Wow, you just put me on the spot like that.
You're the one that said this. I know you didn't.
I didn't think I had anything planned. But you know what? because I'm a
I knew you didn't.
because I'm a professional, I'm just rolling on.
All right, go for it. I know as soon
Okay.
as you said you were the most epic, I was like, he doesn't have anything. I'm just going to hit him. Let it
Hey.
roll.
How could I never have anything? Okay.
You do. You just,
So-
every once in a while when you're recording, you start thinking, oh my gosh. And then, but you remember, you're like Clint, you could talk forever. We could talk for 12 hours.
That's
So
true.
obviously there's something to say.
Always.
Yeah.
So the other day, this is more of like a funny story about the kiddo, not so much that I did anything special. Well, I guess I did. I guess I taught her. So we're sitting on the couch, and we, the way our couch is shaped, we actually have what you would call an L-shaped couch. And so my wife...
Yeah, like a sectional.
Yeah. So my wife's on one side, laying kind of, I guess it would be, vertically to the TV, and then I'm kind of laying horizontal, and we're kind of connecting at the head.
Mm-hmm.
And so Claire wanted to sit with us, and so she got up in between us and was like up on my shoulder, on my left shoulder, and had her legs straddled between my arm. And so we were watching some kid fails on the YouTube, just some funny kid stuff, And she's giggling and laughing, and we're laughing, having a good time. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, with no warning, folks, Claire decides she's going to let one rip. In my face, folks. Her butt was like literally right next to my face. And right after she gets done doing that, then I hear just laughing.
Was it creepy?
Oh yeah.
Like you just did it because you just did it very creepy.
Oh yeah. No, it wasn't as creepy. It was more like funny kid thing. But anyway.
That's good.
Then it just stunk to high heavens. But then later on she does it again, like 10 minutes later. But this one she didn't have as much built up, as much gas, so it was more like a one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But she laughed again, thought it was funny that she was farting on Dad.
That's good.
Yeah.
Hey, there's something that's like, it's almost proud, right? I don't care if it's a daughter or a son or what. It's like there's a proud moment in a dad's life when he realizes that the kid thinks farts are funny. It's like, all right, it's begun. You know what I mean? Like it's something that you've been waiting for. I know that sounds silly, but any dad out there listening, if there's wives and moms out there listening, they may be thinking that's nasty. And some wives are perfectly fine with farting and being funny. Yeah. But my point is, I bet 90% of dads out there are going, yep, that's super funny. I remember when my kid first started farting and laughing and sitting on my lap to fart on me and going next to my head when I'm standing on the couch, sitting on the couch and he's standing next to me. Yeah, that's funny. Actually, It's even funnier if I see my kid fart on another kid. Super funny. You know what I mean? There's no way around it. Farts are just funny.
Yeah.
And I know it's because farts are so taboo in a sense. But it's like you can't really make something that everybody does no matter what taboo, can you? So it's got to, it's one of these things. It's like you can't not do it. So it's going to happen and it's going to be funny because it's going to happen in weird moments and it's going to happen when people aren't expecting it. And even if nobody hears it, sometimes they smell it and then that's funny. Just kind of everything about farts are funny.
You know what's sad is I kind of wonder like when did farts become unacceptable?
Mm-hmm.
The sense of, I just kind of wonder because, back in medieval times, people, Black Plague was going on. They weren't sitting around worried about farting. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no. No, there was actually there were certain jesters that they were trained to smell the king's fart and tell him what he ate. That would be their job. They were paid, they were regular jesters too. They're trying to make them laugh and stuff. But one of their skill sets that they would offer is to tell you what you ate that morning or for lunch or whatever it was. And that was entertaining for the king.
That is such a rough job. I honestly could not imagine having to deal with that. Especially some of the stuff you eat, bro.
Oh, yeah.
My nose hairs just be singed. You
know what else is rough that I just can't skip past? The fact that when you were talking about what you were doing with your daughter on the couch, you said we were watching the YouTube. Just watching a little bit of the YouTube. That's super old. And we always make fun of you for being old. And I make fun of you for wearing...
I'm embracing it. I don't care.
But you're not old. Like 30-year-olds don't say the YouTube. Like, why do you?
I don't know. Why do you dress like a hipster?
No.
It's like, why? Why do we... I get it.
Yeah. Why do you borrow your dad's shirt for church? I don't understand.
There's things that I try to keep up with. There's things you try to keep up with,
Yeah.
You still got your original skater shoes from back, in high school. Probably before that.
What are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about.
No.
Yeah, your skater
My Converse?
shoes. Huh?
My Converse?
Oh, those Converse are pretty old too, but I'm talking about the old skater shoes. The old.
Oh, the Heelys.
Yeah.
I do have
Yeah.
Heelys still.
Yep.
I don't know where the wheels are,
So I
but I
mean,
did keep
you're
them.
old too. It's just you're a
That's
different type of old.
nostalgic. That's different.
Oh, okay.
I don't
because,
nostalgically wear my dad's polo and think it looks good.
Because I go to the 70s. That's a good polo and it doesn't look old. I'm gonna take a picture of me in that polo and post it on the Facebook and say, vote. Is it old or is it hip?
You're gonna have everybody over 40 go, you look great, you look classy, you look like you care, and then you're gonna have everybody under 40 either not reply or tell you Ryan's right. That's what's gonna happen there. I'm not even like a super hip guy. I just know that polo was old.
It's not polo. It's what is it? Like Zion or something? Zodi.
See, you're so old you don't even know that polo is a type of shirt, not the brand. Polo is when you have like the three buttons at the top.
Too.
I know that, but that's not what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about, but polo is a brand. If you get down to it, they got the polo symbol. Now there's polo shirts that are rip-offs of polo.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's why they're polo shirts.
Right. Epic Dad's epic results for Ryan. Actually, it's not going to be about Rory this time. This one's going to be about Claire.
Oh, okay.
We were at church on Sunday, and I had the Claire duty. I had to watch Claire when we were cleaning up stuff after service and putting up chairs and whatnot. Anyways, Clint's packing up all the electronics, and I took Claire duty because Mikhail, which is Clint's wife, had to go home to get a magic eraser because Claire, little hellion that she is, drew all over one of the chairs at church. And so I said, I'll watch Claire while you're gone. So Claire was running and climbing up onto the stage, and not like the normal, they have like a little lower stage that's only like 6 inches up, and then they have another little stage that's like, I don't know, a foot and a half up. Enough on the hardwood floor that if she fell, she was going to get hurt. Mm-hmm. And I looked over, and she climbed up there, and she was also right next to like a super nice 4K TV that was on a stand. So I kind of panicked. I ran over and said, hey, get down. She wouldn't get down. I said, you need to get down. You're scaring me. And she said, no. And so I had this bright idea, well, I'm just going to scare her a little bit, but still kind of like be playful. Yeah. So I take her by her arms, and I kind of slide her around on the ground first, like kind of make sure that how smooth is this ground? Like how easy is she going to slide,
Right.
And then I go ahead and drag her and like slide her like you're sliding somebody on a slip and slide, right? And I really tried hard for, to make sure she didn't like bonk her head or anything like that. But she did barely bonk her head, but it didn't hurt her. But the slide plus the head bonk at the same time, I think scared her half to death.
Yes.
Because after I slid her, she was in this like freeze out panic mode. Do not touch me. You are not welcome in my life. Don't pick me up. Don't hug me. Don't try to kiss me. Nothing. And I mean to the point to where just like when I was trying to hold her, I tried to adjust her. You know how you kind of bounce a kid up a little bit and kind of regrip? Yeah. Just if I try to bounce her a little bit, she'd just stiff arm and her whole body just start freaking out. And mind you, Claire's kind of a tough little girl. So I know I had to scare her really good. And I'm like, dang, I feel bad. And so I apologized to her. She finally seemed like we reconciled, like we came to terms. She even gave me a kiss again. I was like, okay, we're safe. We're good. I've got her back. And then as soon as she gets around somebody new, she turned it on again. Like I was just this horrible person and she wanted them to know what I did to her. And then I thought she forgave me again. And then we're at KFC and I'm trying to offer her some food. And mind you, we were just at KFC the day before. Yes, I know, I'm fat. I'm supposed to be on a diet. And I've actually been doing pretty good, but KFC was some cheat mode. Anyways, don't judge me.
They tore us up.
And the day before, I'm giving her food. I'm grabbing her things. She's just loving it. She's like, oh, no, that food's spicy. I tell her, no, it's not spicy. And she believes me and she eats it. Mm-hmm. And then that day, Sunday, after I scared her and I lost all trust, I lost all trust. I'm trying to offer her food. No, she don't want anything to do with anything I've got. It's dangerous. And so I'm telling her, here's a chicken strip here. She's like, no, that's spicy. I said, no, it's not spicy. It's good. You liked it yesterday. No. And you could tell it's just no because I said it. Yeah. Because as soon as somebody else said it's not spicy, she grabs it. And it's just like, okay.
When she told on you, she was like, she said, Uncle Ryan, he threw me on the floor and bumped my head. So, it wasn't even you spun her on the floor, you threw her.
Yeah, like I just dropped her down.
Right. Like
spiked her into the wood floor.
This evil man beat her up,
Mm-hmm. Now, if I was behind If I was behind, closed doors, then people could think that. But I was right out in the middle of the sanctuary with all kinds of other people around, sliding around a 2-year-old on the floor. So I am that kind of dad.
Yeah.
But I wasn't doing things that were beyond what I should have been doing, or at least I didn't think so. Obviously, they were, because I scared her to death.
Yeah, just extreme for her. It's all right. She
Yeah.
was a little jumpy anyway, even before that, though. Like, she was a
Yeah.
little extra whiny, and,
Thanks for making me feel better.
Like, once I, acted like I was going to throw her up in the air, she got a little scared before that. So I think it may have just been overstimulated, maybe. I don't know.
Gotcha.
You know how kids are sometimes. They're weird like that.
Mm-hmm.
They get overstimulated and things affect them a little different.
Mm-hmm. I've got another epic results.
Yeah.
So I was out. There's a section of our fence that we put almost all new fencing in when we moved in here. And then there's a section we didn't because there was just so many little trees in the old fence that it was still pretty stable. So it didn't seem like it needed to go out. It's just like not chain link, but wire fence.
Yeah.
Almost like hog fence. Our dog, Jolene, which she could jump 6 foot probably if she wanted to, but she doesn't usually.
Jolene.
Okay. That's our debut album, guys. Anyways, we went ahead and she started jumping it. She just found a spot that was like a little bit lower than the rest. You could tell it was like weak, and she leaned on it one day, and she was like, "Oh, I think I can just go right over this." So she did, and then from then on, you couldn't convince her not to. She knows she can. So I had to add on that section of fence today, and I put that portion of fence on there. And as I was doing it, we got these vines that we leave on the fence because we're kind of hoping they grow in like almost make it into like a privacy fence around the front in a way.
Yeah, cover everything up.
Yeah, and they have little flowers on them and stuff. They're pretty. Mm-hmm. Basically, I was doing that, and I noticed this nest in there that looked like a nest out of straight out of a magazine. Like bird nests usually look like really rough. Mm-hmm. Maybe they got little pieces of wrappers and feathers, and like they don't look pretty like they do in the nature show. They usually don't. You know what I mean?
Right.
But this one looked like perfect, and it was filled with these 3 really, really bright blue eggs, not like robin eggs, like a vivid blue. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I'm like, dang, Rory's gonna love that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're gonna check on this nest every couple days, and then hopefully they'll hatch and we'll get to see the babies and everything. Cool. Mm-hmm. So I tell Rory all about it. Mom and her are going to town to get some stuff for work tomorrow, so they were heading out, and I took her out there to show her. And I opened up the nest, and I've already told her about these 3 eggs, And I open it up, and there's only 1 egg in there.
Uh-oh.
Rory's like, "Oh no, where are the other 2 eggs?" I'm like, "I could have swore there was 2 more eggs in here." And I look down, and they're on the ground right there. And it wasn't my fault in the sense of I didn't knock them out. I actually made sure when I fixed the fence that I lifted the nest up and made it a little more level, because after I moved the fence, it wasn't quite the same. Mm-hmm. But what I didn't think about is now that new fence was on there, when Joe tries to jump it, she's just going to slam the fence instead of going over it. Mm. And so that knocked these eggs right out of the nest. Luckily, they didn't break, though. So we picked them up. A lot of people think you can't pick up eggs or touch a nest because the moms won't ever pick the baby back up. That's a lie. There's no real truth science behind that. So if you ever see a bird
they don't smell. So
birds do smell, but not like other animals do. No, not nearly at the same extent. And they still have their mother instinct. They're not going to go, "Oh no, a human touched it." They don't think that way. They're not, deep thinking like the way we act like they do. If you ever see a bird that fell out of a nest, a little baby, and it wasn't ready to fly, you can put it back in the nest, and the mom will still take care of that bird. Just so you guys know.
They're not going to eat their own cub.
No. Now there are birds, that the other babies do eat the weakest baby. They just kill it or push it out of the nest. And there are other birds. Oh yeah, and not to this. You talk about some epic results. There are birds. I think it's blue jays, but I might be wrong. Someone's going to correct me. They actually lay their eggs in another bird's nest, right? And so then when those birds are born, they kick the real birds out of the nest, and then this other mom feeds them. And so the parent doesn't even take care of their babies. They just pawn them off on some other birds, like not even the same breed of birds. Like the babies are way bigger than the parents and everything. And they just feed them and raise them up till they fly out of the nest. Anyways, we saved the eggs. So that's the epic dad thing. They didn't break. We put them in there.
I thought you were going to say like you stepped on an egg or.
No, I did kind of lead it in that direction. We didn't though.
You did.
The eggs were good. We put them back in there, and we get to watch and see what happens. Now, what could get dark is the fact that I didn't want to move the nest off this fence. So if Joe keeps trying to jump the fence,
it could break.
It may be, maybe a bad result later, but the grass is kind of tall underneath there, so we
you didn't know it when you was fixing it, so what can you do?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool to see that, and we'll kind of watch that as they grow and as they hatch, and that'll be something interesting for Rory to learn.
Yeah.
Guys, guess what? You don't have to go to school to learn, guys. For you dads out there with kids, teach them everywhere you go. Teach them when you're fishing, teach them when you're outdoors, teach them when you're cooking, about science, teach them about everything, because if we teach kids that it's only school is the place to learn, then when they get out of school, they'll be done learning.
Yep.
We all know as adults. Yep. We all know as adults that how to be successful is to keep the ability to learn, right?
Yeah.
To be able to
School
keep growing
stuff's
and
just the
learning more.
beginning.
Yep. We learn for life. And so that's why I tell Roy that all the time. We're learning for life.
Yep. I like
It's fun.
that.
It's good.
It's good. I'm a
Anywho.
big proponent of that. That's good.
It's funny that a lot of people because the people at your church don't know us. They don't know that we homeschool and things like that. And so they ask Rory what grade she's in, like a bunch of people. And I always have people ask her, "Are you in school yet?" Used to, right? And she would say, "I've always been in school." And people really don't know how to react to that, because it's like, "No, I mean like school." And she says, "Yeah, I learn every day. We learn for life." She'd tell people that. You know what I mean? And they're kind of like, "Oh, little smart aleck." You know what I mean? But she doesn't know what grade she's in because she's not really in a grade. She's learning in the sense, but and I don't tell people, "Oh yeah," I guess I'm telling people on here, but I don't tell people, "Yeah, she's learning at, second grade reading right now," or she's or exactly where she's at, because I don't really quite keep track of it that way. But it's funny when people ask her that question, because I've prepared her for, "Hey, are you in school?" She knows how to answer that. But when people go, "What grade are you in?" which is what they kept asking her at church on Sunday, she just looks at me like, I have no clue.
We didn't cover the grades, Dad.
Right.
And I'm like, is a grade?
Rory, you're making me look bad. They think I'm just keeping you out of school like a hippie, because I'm kind of hippie-ish, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to tell her. I don't want her to be even more of a smart aleck and be like, "Oh, actually, I'm at second grade in this, and I'm at, blah, blah, blah."
Right.
And then, you know what I mean? So I don't really know how to answer that question properly, but she's in school and will be forever.
I was that made me think of and this is like the negative spectrum of homeschool.
There's all kinds of negative.
Right. There was a famous YouTube channel. I don't know if you heard about it, but this lady had these kids. She had adopted all these kids and was having them that they performed on YouTube. It was like Adventure something. It wasn't Adventure Time, but it was like something Fun Adventures or something to that effect. Anyway, she ended up getting caught because she was abusing the kids.
Oh, really?
And like starving them and stuff and making them perform for the YouTube channel.
Really?
Yeah, because it was making money. It was big money. It was a real popular channel.
Oh.
One of the top ones. And,
wow.
So the oldest sister finally got old enough. She wised up. Hey, I need to tell somebody. And so she went and tipped off the cops. And so, DHS and stuff showed up. And sure enough, it was like, she would like starve the kids to make them perform and things like that. And,
hey, just for you, if you guys are,
but it was her and her, I think it was her and her maybe sons or brother or something like that that was doing it. But yeah, it was super jacked up.
If you guys are thinking about homeschooling or you're homeschooling, the best way to avoid being that weird homeschooler is to be social. You're not going to have this weird scenario play out with your kids where your kids aren't actually learning, or you're just keeping them home because you don't like school, or you know what I mean? Whatever's going on, any of those kind of weird scenarios that you see play out with homeschoolers is because you're secluded and you start to parents live like their own little world, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The kids need socialization. Yeah, they need to be involved in sports. They need to be involved in drama class or whatever the heck they want to. You know what I mean? They need to have socialization. The reason for homeschooling is not to make them antisocial. The reason for homeschooling is because you just don't quite like the way the public school system teaches. And quite honestly, a lot of times you can't afford private school. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you're somewhere in between there. And so you homeschool. But so yeah, socialize your kids, you homeschooler parents. Socialize those kids.
Yes, definitely. We're recording this podcast on April Fool's Day.
Right. Oh, it is April Fool's. Yeah. April Fool's.
April Fool's Day.
I had a epic husband's epic winners. Okay. And so, anybody who knows me knows I'm a little bit of a prankster, but I don't tend to prank much on April Fools because everybody expects to get pranked on April Fool's. So I like to just mess with people throughout the year, all the time, kind of just messing with people. Actually, in the last 2 weeks, I've scared Clint like hardcore twice in his own house, just because he's just easy to scare. So it's fun. Anyways,
that's that ADD kicking in, Not aware of my surroundings.
Anyways, I don't know. There was a couple years there that I had done some little pranks to Tiff, like, hey, babe, you want to go out to dinner tonight? I got this romantic dinner planned. April Fool's. Once she's excited, like that would be an extreme example of how far things would ever go. All of a sudden, Tiff just grows some balls one day, and she calls me, and I'm working. I'm not even thinking about it. I don't really pay attention to when April Fool's is coming because I don't try to prank on that day very often. Anyway, she just gets this wise idea, and she's never pranked me. I've known her since she was 15. She's never pranked me. So she kind of just went all out on the first prank. She calls me, and her mom's with her. She's at her mom's hanging out on April Fool's. And she says, Ryan, I have some big news, and are you somewhere where you can, sit down and listen and blah, blah, blah. And it gets real serious. And I'm like, oh, man, what's going on? And I get all into it. And she says, we're pregnant. Now, mind you, we had been trying for like 5 years to get pregnant. I mean, it was a huge, not just we're pregnant. This was, we've been to doctors, we've tried medicine, we've tried positions. We've done it all to become pregnant. Right. And all of a sudden, she says we're pregnant. And her mom, who's like been waiting on a grandbaby forever, is just all pumped up and excited in the background. So it's real. In no way, shape, or form in my mind was I even slightly debating that we weren't pregnant and having a kid. Oh, yeah. It was for sure the best, one of those best moment of my life kind of moments. We're pregnant. Oh, my gosh, I'm so excited. I didn't know what to say. I was speechless. She just starts laughing. Like she waits just long enough that she kind of feels bad, and she starts laughing. And I'm like, what's up? And she said, April Fool's, like it was some lighthearted joke. Like it was just no big deal. You know what I mean? I was mad.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't take it very well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's not something you joke about.
No, not at all. And so I'm mad. I tell her, hey, you went too far. That was messed up. It was good. I'm proud of you because I am a prankster, and so I'm not going to hold grudges. But that was rough and really extreme for you. So I tell her that, and I decide I'm going to wait. I think I waited a couple years at least. I didn't hit her the next year. I waited a little while. And I started thinking, how could I get her? What could I get her with? That she might really bite. She might really believe. So then I end up telling her that my sister Rachel, who's probably listening in, she usually is. I don't know if she is or not on the live feed, but I end up telling her that Rachel was in a car accident and that she's dead.
No.
Oh, yeah. I'm serious. And I was so dead serious when I told her. I mean, I practiced. I was looking in the mirror, had myself like nearly crying. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I tell her she's dead. And I could tell I got her because as soon as I say it, all you get out of Tiff is like a little bit of quiet. And then she says, Ryan. Oh, yeah. I had her good. And so then I just turned the whimper on. just acted like it was so real. And I'm laughing, but that is messed up, guys. Don't do that. But I'm telling her about this. And I wait till I know she's just completely sold. I'm pretty confident she's crying. Like it's real. It's real enough that she's now crying. You know what I mean? And I tell her, April Fool's. And she's just silent. And I said, yeah, you remember when you got me with your mom about the pregnancy? You'll never do that again.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. I won.
That's hardcore, bro.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It went all the way out.
That's like a whole nother level.
Yeah. Hey, she took it to a whole nother level. I had a kid that died that day. You get what I'm saying? Like mentally and emotionally, I had a kid, and then I didn't have a kid.
Okay.
And so really, I got her in the same way. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
We just got to see the extreme of you and your wife's pranking each other. That's really
Actually,
good.
I had another really extreme prank I almost planned a few years ago, but I'll save that for another episode.
Gotcha.
Actually, I don't know that I'll ever put it in an episode because I may still do it at some point. It's like that good.
Oh, yeah.
It's really in depth.
It's not like acted upon. We'll have to talk about it later.
Okay.
When the show's off, I'll get the lowdown.
Yeah.
Links for Geeks. Yeah, so it's time for Leaks for Geeks. And wanted to kind of start it off. We played some games this weekend. I just wanted to kind of touch base on what we played. We played a little bit of Apex Legends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you could call it played. I would call it, we were there.
Ah. You mean we were in attendance?
Yes,
But,
to other people playing the game.
Yeah.
We attended the show.
I felt like I was really getting paid well for that target dummy, you know?
Yes, exactly,
Yep.
exactly.
Yeah. It was a bad time. I love that game, but I suck at it.
Oh, we've
And
actually had better nights, though. We've had some nights where we've actually, we get some kills. We've made it to the top few. Guys, just so you know, we've not even won one yet. We have not won one Apex Legends game. Of course, we haven't played that. We can probably count. We've only played probably 6 times total, right, Clint? I mean,
right.
we just haven't got to game that much lately. And I don't
Pretty
think it's
much.
just because we're working on this and editing this. I think it's just life has happened to happen at
doing
the
more.
same time. Yep.
Well, and everybody's got babies coming now, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, and at the time before we made the podcast, you were already moved to your house, but you didn't have things set up, and
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, it just picks up and just kind of goes, man. But that's all right, you know.
Yeah.
I like it. Life is good. So, got great friends, great people all around us. So,
That's right.
so just keep on trucking. But when I look at games, there's not a lot of games that for me, that I would get like stuck on, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
There's some games like Red Dead. I can get back into Red Dead online.
Mhm.
I'm just kind of letting it kind of get some more content on it. That's something
I think
could
if we
play.
had the time to play together, we could really come together every time we play Resident Evil. Like if we were able to meet at your house right now, like it was that good for me.
Oh,
We
yeah.
haven't got to continue the play on it, but that's only because we just haven't been able to meet up. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's
so
hard to
that's
get
for me.
everybody
That's
together
one of
at the
those
same
games.
exact time.
It's that good that I can get hooked on it until it's beat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Well, we played a little bit of Hitman.
Mm-hmm.
This
I liked
weekend.
it,
We talked,
and that's the one that's been out for a little while. It's not. I think there's another Hitman now, right? That just came out, maybe.
I think so. Hitman 2. So this was the
Yeah.
Hitman that came out on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
It was. I got it because it was free on PSN, and I was like, yes, please. So.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Downloaded it, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was good. We played it for a couple hours the other night, and that really made me wish either I had it and we can play through some missions together, on the mic, even though you
Mhm.
can't play co-op, but you could play through it on this side. You know what I mean? Like we talk to each other. We've done that with old Splinter Cell games and things like
Mhm.
that, and I have fun doing that. You go through and kind of learn the game together.
Oh,
But
definitely.
Clint had this beautiful idea when we were playing Hitman,
I did.
and I can't quit thinking about it.
It's a really good idea. If I was a game developer, I'd do it. So let's just go ahead and share it.
It's one of those. It's so good that you don't want to share because someone's going to make millions of dollars on it. But then
Yeah.
at the same time, it's like you're not gonna, Clint.
Right.
So
But
just
then I'm gonna
let
get
it
to
out.
play it. So let's
Yeah,
talk about
yeah.
it. Okay, so my idea was this, guys, and you can tell me in the chat what you think. This was my idea for an online Hitman type game. So they put you in a map, a pretty good sized map, we'll say, and you could do it. You could do a 16-player lobby. You could do however many you wanted. So you'll put players in the game, and everybody's their own like assassin, so to speak. And this map could be littered with different props to kill people with, right? Now here's the catch. You want to be the last assassin to survive, kind of like a battle royale type deal. You want to be the
Mhm.
last man standing.
Mm-hmm.
Now the trick is there's other NPCs in the game that are acting as normal people. So the idea is you blend in, and so you start eliminating the targets. You find out who is the player and who is the NPCs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the whole game you're going to be super paranoid because you don't know who's trying to kill you, right?
Right.
So you might be trying to blend in, and you go over drink this drink, and an assassin puts some poison in it, kills you. You didn't even see it coming. You know what I mean? Yeah, you just have these different deals of like trying to guess who's the killer, who's the kind of like a clue type thing.
Right.
But-
I think that even if you had almost more of an MMO, right? Like it's kind of maybe not huge servers with a bunch of people, pretty good size, right?
Yeah.
And you had even some normal missions too, right? Like not just trying to kill each other, but also other hits like normal
co-op
Hitman.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And, well, also just to develop your character. Like, for your Hitman to get better, sometimes you have to play out these other missions. And so you take the risk by going after these missions of being spotted by other Hitmen who may also be going after these missions. I mean, it could get in depth enough that you actually have like based on your skill and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
that you get bounties or hits placed on you.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And then other people, they get hired based on their skill.
Mm-hmm.
And the game maybe somehow selects that and goes, hey, look, there's this guy over here. Here's what the value is worth if you kill him. And so maybe it's not like a just last man standing, but it's like this ongoing
And you could almost put it in
competition.
like a city. Like you could almost do like a Grand Theft Auto type city,
Mm-hmm.
and just everybody's in there just living in a way.
Right. Yes. That's what I'm talking
And so,
about.
like when you go out to do those missions, people still see you going by doing missions, and so if they see you kill someone, they're like, "Oh, that guy's a killer." That's
Right.
more than likely a player, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But how much even better would it be if there were somehow if there were players who weren't killers? Like
Yeah.
there were players that were just role play players that were filling different roles in that game, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And so it wouldn't be so easy. Like if I saw somebody who I could tell is not a computer, it doesn't automatically mean they're this guy that I'm supposed to kill, that they're a hitman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you kill the wrong guy, there's negative effects.
Yeah.
Right? Like you go down on the hiring board, on the
Right.
you know what I mean? Your
Instead of being
value
a
and things
contracted
like
killer,
that.
you just killed an innocent that's gonna
Yep.
tip off the mob.
Oh,
or tip
man,
off
that
the
would be so
agency
fun.
Or, yeah.
Yep.
I think it's a good idea, but
Oh my gosh, if someone could make that happen.
Oh,
Make it happen out there.
Yep. All you talented people out there in the world, get something going. Geniuses.
Hey,
I'm not one.
You're talented too, Clint.
Oh, thank you. So
Yeah.
sweet. You're so sweet. What my daughter tells me. I love you so much. You're so sweet.
Well, you taught her to lie it too, huh?
No, she lies just naturally.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. All right. So since it's April Fool's, just throwing it out there, a major gaming subreddit decided that since it's April Fool's Day, they picked today of all days, they actually shut down their forum to condemn hate speech. And so
Really?
it's So the mods of /r/games taking a stance. Yeah. So they're preventing the cultivation of bigotry, means giving into ground to go to, and as a whole, leaving only space for those who would respectfully participate. So
That's kind of odd in a way because gaming is like a cesspool for trash talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not a serious thing. People don't take it serious most of the time.
Yeah.
And it's not meant serious. It's not really bullying going on. It's trolling. It's joking around. It's just part of sports. Always involve trash talk.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we're kind of going so far with this no hate speech thing nowadays that it's like you can't even have like competitive banter. You know what I mean? You can't really. Yeah, I mean, if I tell you, oh, you're no good at playing this sport because you're this certain race, that may be, that's probably a little far. But if I'm like, hey, short stuff, you couldn't dunk if your life depended on it.
Mm-hmm.
Am I discriminating against the short people? Come on, guys. I mean,
Right.
it's just a little much, I think. I'm just one of those guys. I believe in anything that incites violence, just like the amendments say you can't speak and use language that incites violence or calls people to harm other people. That's true. But what happened to, words never hurt me? You know what I mean? I think we could get over a lot of the little things out there and not take offense to things, and it wouldn't be such a big deal. Not that there aren't real bullies out there and people that are jerks and things like that, but think about it, guys. Maybe I'm the bad guy here. Maybe it's because I was the one who was a bully and I didn't get bullied, and you know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, you are a little more social too, though, so I think maybe some of that stuff might not make you as mad. I don't know.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It kind of rolls off my shoulders a little easier.
I wouldn't say it affects you quite as much. But
Right.
there are things like, you play games and the N-word gets dropped quite a bit from certain people or, that kind of stuff. But so maybe they're targeting more of that kind of speech because I'm definitely...
Well, I agree with that kind of stuff, yeah. Yeah, me too.
But yeah, just overall talking smack, that's something that's
Right.
going to exist until the end of time.
Right.
Whether you
I don't think it's
or
going
not.
to... Yeah, I don't think it's going to go away.
Yeah. BFO Zone, thanks for subscribing. Glad you're here. Appreciate it. Thanks for following us.
Yes,
so to
yes.
speak. But yeah, awesome. Thank you for following us, bro. Or lady. I don't know. What would be like a short way to call a lady? Instead of a bro,
Hey, well, see,
would be
right.
a gal.
Sis.
Thanks, gal.
Yeah, that's what an old
Thanks,
person
gal.
would say. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, bro's like, hey, bro, but what do you?
Well, I don't know. You might have already discriminated nowadays. You see, that's what I'm saying. It's just one of those things where
It's
you're assuming I'm a bro because I game, or and it's kind of like
yeah,
nobody meant anything like that,
yeah,
and so but we just got to be more real with people. It's got to be more relational. Not
yeah.
such everything is not meant to cause division. Next thing you know, you're going to have people saying, "Don't call me a noob." I mean, are you a noob? Do you suck at the game you're playing? Then you're a noob. Someone calls me,
I
you know,
identify as an old noob.
yeah, I'm an old person now, but on every game I play, I'm a noob because I don't play enough anymore. Like, gamers live on the game nowadays. I
Oh
don't
yeah,
get to do that. So unless I'm playing with some other old friends like you guys playing a co-op game with no real people to play against, I'm noob central.
yeah.
Jump on some game where we get to play together against some computers. I feel like the boss again. It's less depressing. Hey, I like it. I actually noticed some people on the there's a Facebook page that we're part of. We're not page, it's a group, right?
Yeah.
I think it's just called Gaming Dads, and I've enjoyed some of the conversation on there. I saw some people posted on there, and I didn't get it for a little while. Like, oh yeah, level 40, and gonna keep on going. And I didn't realize what they were talking about was their age.
Because they're talking about birthdays.
Yeah, and they're saying I'm at level 51, never gonna put the joystick down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was
okay.
like, oh, that's cool. I like that. I like that.
So I'm level 31.
Yeah, I'm level 31 too.
You're gonna be level 32 soon, though.
Yep, in June
Yep.
5th.
Yep. All right. So in other news, we got on Polygon.com. They got some news. I don't know if you guys play Dead by Daylight. I played a little bit of it, and I like it quite a bit. It's a good little game.
Fun game.
I got it on the PlayStation 4. Wanting to try to get it on the PC so me and you can play together. Me, you, and Hunter. I'll try to get it on the PC and have a good night playing that. But they announced that Ash from Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Yes.
You know that, yeah. He's gonna
Oh,
he's gonna be a little survivor dude that you can pick him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so
Cool.
he's actually doing some voiceover work, and so
That's what I was going to say. He's going to do
comments and
voiceover work. That's what he's known for. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So he's gonna have little smart comments to say, and yeah.
Isn't that that's the same guy from Burn Notice, right? The older dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him. He's good.
So he's gonna be available starting tomorrow, April 2nd.
Sweet.
So yeah, coming to you on the Dead by Daylight. So that's gonna be really cool. And then other news, I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but I was pretty pumped about it. Gearbox announces Borderlands 3 is coming out. They put out their first announced trailer. So,
Borderlands 3. I wonder if they're going to come right out with it in VR since they upgraded number 2 to VR.
I don't know.
Isn't that what they did?
Yeah. Yep. They haven't even said much about the consoles, like if it's coming out on Epic, is it coming out on Steam? But yeah, the game.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be Steam. They're not going to leave Steam.
Yeah, the graphics look really good, and I mean
it's still the same cell shade style, or yeah, it's just kind of bumped up in sharpness and stuff like that.
It's all cell shaded, but I'm sure it's got more. It looked like it had more to it. It looks like the world itself is a lot larger.
Okay.
It doesn't look like.
I love Borderlands. If you guys like shooters and you like playing co-op and you've never played Borderlands, sometimes you ever get in that little kind of that mode where you go, man, I just really want to play a co-op game with some friends. I've been in that mode lately. Just want to get into a good co-op game and play with a friend. And you go looking up what's a good co-op game. You probably come across Borderlands. Some people don't play Borderlands specifically because of the cell shading. Like they see that and they're like, that looks, what would you say? That looks dumbed down, right? Like it looks kind of like not very good. It's a very full game, guys. It's got a ton to it. If you like shooters, this thing is, more guns than you can imagine, more types of bullets and ammo than you can imagine. It's a loot game, and it's completely designed to play with people. It's not really meant to play by yourself, and it's super fun. Super fun. One of my favorite games.
Well, they're also pumping out some more stuff that you're going to like here, Ryan. So starting April 3rd, which is 2 days from now, Borderlands Game of the Year Edition, the original Borderlands Game of the Year Edition, is coming out. It's been remastered.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so it's going to support, it's going to come out on PlayStation 4 Pro, Xbox One X, well, all those console versions. But for the Pro and for the One X, it's going to support 4K resolution and HDR lighting.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Now, I've played through 1 actually a couple times. I still have not played all the way through 2. I've been trying to convince Clint to play it with me. But
now I might as well just wait until they do a remake of 2. Remaster, I mean.
Oh, because then it'll be worth it because the graphics will be better?
Yeah.
What a graphics snob.
Yeah.
Yeah,
what
aren't
I
you
am.
that guy that likes playing nostalgic old games? Do they have to remaster those?
No.
You know, remaster some Mario for you to play it?
If I play the nostalgic old games for the reason of nostalgia, but not, hey, let's play this kind of thing.
Gotcha.
It would have to be like a nostalgia event, like, hey guys, come watch us play this nostalgia game.
Okay,
Then
so you're
then
telling
I'm
me that
into it.
this attempted guilt trip live didn't work. You didn't change your mind.
No, didn't work at all.
That sucks.
Hey, I'm so much of a graphics snob. One time, me and a buddy of mine was playing some World of Warcraft with my old buddy Darby, and I noticed that his graphics were turned up. He was in like this little helicopter thing, and I could see the blade moving, but I could tell it wasn't in 60 frames per second. It looked more like it was like maybe in 30 or maybe even lower than that. And I said, hey, what you got that running on? He goes, oh, I got it on high. It's all maxed out. Computer runs it fine. I was like, I'm sitting there kind of looking at it. I said, nah, bro. I said, your frame rates aren't right. Look how choppy that blade looks, and look how choppy that that helicopter's moving. And he gets to looking at it, and then I kid you not, like an hour later, I walk into the room. He's like, I effing hate you. He's like, you messed up my whole game. He's like, now I got to look for a graphics card. He said, because everything I'm doing on the game, I can see the little glitch to it, like it's not totally smooth. So thanks to you pointed it out. Now I can't unsee it.
So that was the most his computer could do at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, got him.
Yep. So I'm good about that.
Nice.
I should probably stop. But when you got a wife that doesn't see graphics, it really drives you nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you got a best friend who makes fun of you every time you point out that they're better graphics. And I'm not the guy who doesn't not see them. I see them. They're just not important to me that I'd have to spend a bunch more money to get them. Like when they're there, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And then if someone goes, yep, for only $200, your computer can do that too. And I go, nah. Like I don't even go to the next step
if
of.
If it was something that had to do with fishing, it was like that next step, no. I get it. Oh yeah.
No, I fish all the time, but all my gear is cheap. Super cheap gear, just like Walmart.
But I'm saying,
as long as it's good enough, that's all I have.
I'm saying if you had it to get it, right?
Oh yeah.
So these things
but I do the same thing.
Like if I had it to get it, but obviously,
true, yeah.
Obviously, I still have the same gaming computer from 2011.
Yeah, same thing for
anything.
Yeah, you have an updated graphics card and stuff in there though.
Oh, because the other one burnt out. I had no choice. Hey, if you like the old stuff, you're talking about nostalgia. Blizzard Entertainment announced that they're now going to release their original Warcraft and Warcraft 2 PC
I saw that. I saw that.
GOG.com. So that's coming out now. So they'll probably have all their old games out there.
That's cool.
It makes sense. You might as well make a little more money off your old games. Right. People still like to go back and play that stuff.
Yep.
So, especially for the people that get into the World of Warcraft MMO, it's kind of
they want to know the backstory and the lore and all that.
Yeah, it's like, well, where did all this stuff come from? It's like, well, if you go play the other two games, then or the other three games, then you would know. So it's a good thing. I think that website's pretty cool, but they're trying to keep those old PC games going. I wish it was kind of the same with the console stuff.
You see it a little bit, right? They do release some of those old games.
Yeah. But they are going to be releasing this, and I'm pretty pumped about this. This may be something worth getting just because I didn't get to play it as much. Sega Genesis they're launching the Sega Genesis Mini. It's going to come out in September. It's going to come with 40 games.
Really? Just
Sonic
built it?
the Hedgehog. Yeah.
I have Sonic on my Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Xbox bought Sonic, or bought Sega a few years back. So you notice some of the Sega games came on Xbox now.
Okay. Well, yeah, Sega Genesis is launching a mini Sega Genesis, just like the little PlayStation, just like the little Nintendo. This is the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's going to have 40 games, and it's going to sell at $80. So for $80, you can get you a nice little collection of Sega Genesis games.
Get it on sale. It's going to be on sale for $60 on Amazon or something like that. And that's not bad for something like that.
Man, but I still just to me, I'd rather just have someone get me the Raspberry Pi.
With all of it.
Spend $250 or $300 and get 7,000 something games, right?
Right.
But, this is the thing right now. The nostalgia's coming back,
Yep.
So, yeah, that's pretty neat. I like that. Also, for you Nintendo Switch players out there, you can now get 1 year of Nintendo Switch Online service free if you subscribe to Twitch Prime. Yeah, check
Really?
into the yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So if you check into that, you can get it going. All you gotta do is have your Twitch Prime account. You gotta be subscribed to it. According to Twitch, Prime subscribers will have to have until September 28th to redeem the three. You gotta do the 3 month subscription until January 28th, 2020. So I guess that's kind of the deal. You either gotta do the 3 month or the 9 month. Anyway, yeah. So check that out, guys. You can get your Twitch.
Obviously, that's
I
not
keep saying
a
Switch Online.
that's not a much. But you were talking about Twitch though, signing up for Twitch
Yeah.
to get the Switch.
Yeah. So you're a Twitch Prime member, and
Right.
so it kind of rolls into a deal where
Right, which isn't
gonna
of
get
much
your
benefit
Switch.
for you if you're not going to stream and stuff like that. But if
Yeah.
you're already going to be streaming,
well,
then
if you like it, like if you watch Twitch a lot, because you get downloadable stuff, you get little extra goodies. with
okay,
Twitch
okay.
Prime. Yeah. Just want to throw that out there for you guys. And then here at the end, this kind of pertains more to us, but I think it's somewhat exciting in the sense that Twitch is now going to have a new feature called Squad Stream. So this
Oh,
is
really?
Yes. So this is going to be a new feature, which is something we've been talking about with this podcast. We're
Mhm.
trying to do live video. We've been having some issues getting live video put to where we could all be on the same screen. Well, Twitch announced today that they're going to design this squad stream, and it's going to actually allow you to have multiple people on the same stream.
Well, yeah, because people play in squads and stuff like that. Like you're playing some
Mhm.
Fortnite or you're playing whatever. And you got your little group, right, of
Mhm.
people, and all of you can stream on one stream. People can watch the entire game play out. That's
Yep.
awesome. That's
So
great.
it says creators can join forces right from the dashboard, stream content they wouldn't normally stream, and grow their communities all at the same time. Viewers get more angles on the action, a way to support more of our favorite streamers with ease, and a chance to chat with several great communities at once, or join
I like
a
it.
new one.
Oh, so that won't just be a squad stream in the sense of one channel that runs the squad. It's going to be multiple channels streaming in one stream.
Right. So like if
That's
me and
awesome.
if me and you are playing, they can switch over to your stream and see what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
or you can have it all on the same screen.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it sounds really cool. I'm not sure of all the details, but it's going to be really cool. So I could definitely get into more probably streaming, because sometimes you're just watching one guy play with his other buddies, and maybe he's not as exciting as what's going on the other screen, but you can't see it.
Right.
You just happen to be following him. So pretty cool news for sure. But yeah, for more gaming news, you can tune in to more of our episodes. And we'll be posting links up on the website here pretty soon. We'd like to start doing a blog and maybe put up some bigger events as they happen throughout the month.
I don't know a whole lot about this, guys. Actually, Hunter sent me this right before we started the show and was like, you should talk about this. And so I'm not going to talk about it a lot because I don't want to act like I know enough about it to talk about it yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I want you guys to know about it because it's that good. It sounds that intriguing. So check it out. This is called, and you know Google doesn't do anything without going all the way. They came out with everything they've ever done, including, like, say, their phone, when they finally decided, let's make a phone. Instead of just making software, let's make the hardware, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they do most things pretty good. Well, we don't like the way they spy on us, but at the same time, we love Google, right?
Yeah.
They've really brought us to a new technological age. And Google is starting to do what looks like game streaming. If you're not familiar with game streaming, it's the new big thing. We use Shadow to stream because I've got my cheaper computer, and so we use Shadow to stream. We haven't reviewed that because there's been some good things and bad things about it. We aren't sure yet if the bad things are because of my end or if the bad things are because of Shadow. So I don't want to give it a bad review.
Mm-hmm.
But I can tell you if Google's going to do it, they're going to do it right.
Yeah.
And Google is starting to, they've announced that they're going to. It's called Google Stadia or Stadia, Stadia. And it looks like they're going to have their own controllers for it and everything set up. And so it's almost like a console without a console. That's what they're setting it up as, which will also be like a gaming computer because it's going to actually be running off of servers like Shadow or these other gaming companies that you get to run with high-end graphics cards, and you pay a monthly subscription. So instead of paying your $10 a month, for let's say, what is it, Xbox, which is less if you buy it by the year, I know. You're going to pay them. The one thing they haven't come out with is what the price is going to be. But they've talked about a lot of other things about what it's going to be. There's some videos on YouTube that you can check out on it. But it's supposed to be releasing this year. It's going to release in the United States, Canada, United Kingdom, Europe. They think it's going to be later this year. Let's see here. Any other big points that I need to hit on? It's going to support 4K and HDR gaming at 60 frames per second. So that tells you enough right there, guys. That's going to float your boat. One thing that Google's awesome at is not hardware, right? Hardware is new for Google. Software is something they've always been amazing at. And I say it's new for Google. I know it's not completely new, but they moved into hardware out of software, and everybody knows that. And so the kind of software and back-end engineering that they've put into developing something that they can play this way, it's going to be latency and things like that, are going to be top priority. Just like it is with Shadow. These guys are going to be working on all that stuff. They know what gamers care about. They're in the gaming industry already. It also says here that the 4K and the HDR is going to be working on a moderate internet speed, okay? And then right underneath it says, Google has also promised that this is just the beginning. They're working already on enhancements such as 4K or such as 8K resolution coming very soon, and 120 frames per second will be possible in the near future. And so if they're going to jump in, I think they really are going to jump in head first. It's going to have an AMD custom graphics card they have made for it, specifically for their system. And you can check out all these details. We'll probably get into this more maybe in the next episode. Yeah. But I just kind of wanted to give you guys a little, little taste, a little morsel.
If it's not too expensive, we'll probably try it too. But,
when it comes out, we'll have to try it.
Yeah, the other thing about Google is they have unlimited funds to fund this project. These other companies that have tried it, they're on a certain budget, whereas Google's like they can throw as much money as they need to make sure it's working top notch ahead of the rest.
Right. And
I just
to be
saw
honest
a
with you,
that said they want it to be the Netflix of gaming.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, Google, everybody thinks Google does everything on their own. No, Google is very, 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 very big on what you call community work, in the sense of they like to network their think tanks, okay? And so in all reality, they've probably been working with some other company, say like Shadow, right, that's been developing this technology, and at a certain point, Google said, okay, we want that. And so they just kind of bring them in as part of the family. And when it comes out, it says Google did it. But really, some other company started it, and Google dumped the money in and said, let's do it right, because you got something. Does that make sense? And so I don't know. We could do some more research and find that out too. But it's not like Google just comes up with everything. They really do help other smaller companies become things they never could have became without Google's partnership, if that makes sense. And so it'll be interesting to see what all happens with that. And I'm definitely wanting to try it out.
For sure. Well, I'll be all over that whenever it gets closer to coming out. But that's going to wrap up the gaming news and the gaming section.
What's cooking good looking? Master Chef at home, listening wherever you are. What's cooking good looking?
Okay, guys. Usually Hunter does this, and it's called What's Cooking Good Looking. I text him and said, hey, Hunter, do you mind if I do What's Cooking Not So Good Looking? And he said, yes. So that's what I'm doing here. I like cooking too. I'm not a chef, but just like he says on that little intro there, master chefs there at home, right? He's talking to all you dads that are at home that can prep stuff and make great meals. And whether you cook much in the kitchen and you're a real chef like Hunter, men like to cook on the grill. Or at least we like to think we're good at cooking on the grill, right?
Yeah, it's like a 50-50 for me. Sometimes it's cooked, sometimes it's a little raw.
Yeah. Hey, raw's okay as long as it's steak, or a burger. I can eat a burger raw too. It's just got to be beef, I guess.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm actually kind of that guy that you could bring me a pork chop with some pink in it, and I'm not going to complain. It's no big deal to me.
You like a little blood in it. Come on, let's be honest.
Yeah, well, not in the pork chop. I like a little pink in it. But in the steak, I want more than a little blood. I want a lot of blood. I want it dripping down my chin and my elbow.
Vampire, yeah.
Yes. But I'm not going to be talking to you guys about cooking a steak on the grill today, because anybody could talk to you about that. You buy a good steak, throw some salt and pepper on it, sear it at a high temp, you're done. You master that. You work on it until you get the steak just the way you want it. That's it. Okay. I would be kind of, how would I say? I'd be disappointing you and disappointing Hunter if that's all I brought. Don't you think, Clint?
Yeah, I think so.
And so what I'm going to bring is one of my favorite recipes, and it's actually one of my favorite things to eat that I just kind of put a spin on and realized that I'm an amazing person as soon as I did. And so one of my favorite things to eat is called corned beef. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but basically corned beef is a brisket that has been salt cured. Okay, you've seen it as kind of, even when it's cooked all the way, the meat looks red. It doesn't look like brown like beef does, because it's been salt cured before it's ever been cooked.
I never realized it was a brisket, so I'm glad you said that.
Yes, it's a cut of a brisket. So you can do a whole corned beef, which is the flat of a brisket and the point of a brisket, right? Mm-hmm. And that would be like the whole brisket. Most of the time when people buy brisket or corned beef, they buy either the flat or the point, though, because it's too big to fit in anything if you buy the whole thing. Gotcha. And so for me, I buy the flat. The flat has a larger area of even fat over one side and works really good. Now, if you're doing a normal corned beef, go either way. It really doesn't matter, in my opinion. That's when you kind of slow cook it or something like that. You've heard of corned beef and cabbage. Maybe you throw some bacon in there and some potatoes, and you just munch down, right? I mean, it actually started off as bacon and cabbage is where it started in Ireland. It was never corned beef and cabbage, though we think of it as an Irish meal. We changed it to corned beef as Americans. And so it's kind of an adapted meal to now corned beef and cabbage. But still, salty meat and cabbage, right? That's what it was before, and it's what it is now. And so what I do is one day I just said, well, what if I smoked it? Instead of slow cooking it. Guys have thoughts like that. What if I smoked this? I've ruined a lot of things smoking them because I didn't know how to. Yeah. But this one survived the test. And so get you a corned beef. Step one, guys. I'm going to try to run through this kind of fast for you because I don't want you to get lost. Step one is going to be put it in a bowl of water and fill the water up over the top of the corned beef. Okay? This is because corned beef is salt cured and it's super, super salty. It's in a salt brine, right, that it's been soaking in for a long time. Even if you brine your own, it's going to be really salty, and it's designed to basically be cooked down in with a bunch of other vegetables and with water, and so then all of that gets salty. But if you were to just smoke that corned beef alone, it's going to be super salty because all that salt is going to be just on the meat. It's not going to be dispersed into the broth or into the juice, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And so soak that corned beef for at least 4 hours. If I remember, I let it just sit in the fridge overnight, just sitting in a bowl with water. Then in the morning, I rinse it off, if that makes sense. And then if you've ever done a corned beef before, there's a little pack in there of some peppercorn and some different seasonings. And you're going to cook it on the smoker, just throw that away. You don't need it. Okay? And so instead, you're going to season this thing up yourself because you're going to smoke it, right? So if you've ever smoked anything, you kind of want to get like a nice crust of seasoning on there. You want a nice rub. Okay, that's all over this thing. Main thing is going to be pepper. You're basically going to make an entire crust. You're going to cover that thing in pepper. So like if I see an area bigger than a quarter of meat, it's not enough pepper. Remember, because it's just on the outside, right? So by the time that cooks down and everything, that pepper is going to get in and flavor up all that meat inside that's not seasoned. It's a whole roast. That's why when people make briskets or anything like that, they put almost an entire coating of rub and seasoning on the outside because you need it to balance the amount of meat that's inside that's not seasoned. Does that make sense? Yeah. And so you put that whole crust of pepper, and you need just a few other seasonings, okay? Mustard, and put it on pretty generously. And that's mustard in the sense of mustard powder, And then you're going to use garlic powder, salt, Cloves, I prefer the powder cloves. That's already all the way down to powder. I don't want to have big chunks of cloves for people to bite into. And you could stick whole cloves in that people could pick out, and that would taste amazing too.
Mm-hmm.
But you want to make it either where you could eat it or you can pull them out. You don't, some people use some like crushed clove, and that could be too strong and too potent for some people when they bite into that. And then onion powder and salt. I might have already said salt, but you can just use a little bit of salt on it if you think that maybe you soaked it too long or something like that. But I don't even put much salt on it at all usually. It's really just the pepper because the salt's in the meat.
Gotcha.
So you're going to do that. Now, some people use olive oil. Go for it. Rub it down before you season it with olive oil. That just makes everything stick. Yeah. Because I like the taste of the mustard in this mix, I mustard the whole thing.
Yeah. I was going to ask you what you used to get it to stick, what you're putting on it to really get it to not just fall off,
Yeah, well, it's going to stick a little bit because the meat's wet.
Mm-hmm.
But if you really want it to make that good crust where you can put that seasoning on heavy like you want to,
mm-hmm.
you need that base. You need something for it to stick to. Hunter would have a fancy word for that, whatever that's called. When you put that on there, I don't know what that is. But I tried in the very beginning, I used to use just olive oil, and it's great. I've learned that I actually prefer like spicy brown Dijon mustard. I use that as my coating before I ever put my seasonings on it, and that's what I stick to, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So just kind of rub it down liberally with the mustard till it's all coated and sticky, and then coat this whole thing in all these seasonings. Now, you're saying how much of each seasoning? Lightly seasoned on everything except for the pepper. Everything else gets a light dusting over the entire thing. It's not a big deal. You're not going to overpower with any of these unless you just put a ton of cloves. Everything else is just going to kind of blend in. And then heavy on the pepper, okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to have your, I use hickory on the smoker, some chips, and I'm going to have my temperature out there set to 200 degrees, so not super high, because this is a slow and steady cook, okay? So it's set for 200 degrees. You're going to take your brisket, set it right on the grill in the smoker, and cook it for about 4 hours, okay? 4 hours in at 200 degrees. The internal temperature of that is going to be around 120 degrees, 130 degrees, something like that. Yeah. But that pepper on the outside is going to be crispy. It's going to be, crusty, and you can tell it's ready to start to do the next step by checking if that fat that's on top, which I didn't mention, you want the fat on top. So then as it cooks, that fat renders and soaks into the meat. If the fat's on the bottom, it's going to just drip down below, and it doesn't do anything for your flavors. Okay. So keep the fat layer on top when you set it in the grill. Then you're going to kind of just give it a little bit of a shake or a little bit of a poke. If that fat is still firm, then it's not rendering yet. It's not really ready to go to the next stage. If that fat kind of has that gelatin look, like when a steak is starting to get good, mm-hmm. right? Boom. Mm-hmm. You take it out. You're going to take it inside, and you're going to wrap it both directions, meaning horizontal and vertical, if that makes sense. Or if you have a nice wide cellophane, I prefer that. But if you don't, you can use regular cellophane. And you're going to wrap it about 4 layers deep with the cellophane, okay? And then you're going to wrap it with the foil. Now, the foil is really just to protect the cellophane so it doesn't burn on the grill. But the whole point now is you've kind of already got all the smoke in it from the first 4 hours. Now it's going to pressure cook that thing. It's almost going to steam that meat in there on the smoker. Now you're going to leave it for 8 to 12 hours. I usually leave it just all the way overnight at that point. So about 10 o'clock at night, I'm switching it. I wrap it. I stick it back in there at 200 degrees. No more chips because you're covered anyways, right? The smoke's not getting into it anymore. Yeah. And you're just slow cooking it now for about 8 to 12 hours. Anywhere in that range, you're not going to ruin it, pretty much. And so I go to sleep. I wake up in the morning, pull that baby out. And to be honest with you, it's so good that if you're going to do one, do 3. Don't waste your time doing one, especially if you plan on sharing it with anybody, because it is amazing. And you'll pull it out, you cut it. That thing is so tender that if you were to try to pick it up, just like anything else, guys, let it rest. Do not open that package up when you first pull it out. If anybody doesn't know, for steaks and things like that, meats, as they're cooling down, they pull moisture back in. When they're at their max temp, all the bonds and cells and whatever's in that meat are open, right? And so if you cut it, all the juices just drain out. So if you let it cool, though, it'll suck that juice back in. So then later cut it, and that meat's going to be so much more juicy. That's the same thing for steak, for anything like that. Usually a steak right hot off the grill, you just want to cut it right then. Don't. Wait like 5-8 minutes, then cut it. It's going to be a way better steak. That's what you call let it rest if you want the best. Okay, same thing on a roast or anything like that. You're going to take that roast and you're going to let it set all the way till it's, edible temperature before you even open the packaging on it. And then you just open that baby up and go to town. If you want to be fancy, sometimes I'll put it on a big wood cutting board and kind of slice it like it's brisket. But it's so soft that it's hard to slice because it just wants to crumble under the knife,
Nice.
And it's super good. Mm-hmm.
Nice. And he knows what he's talking, folks. He's a big man. He knows how to eat.
Yep, love eating. I got here at this place in my life, this 300-pound plus mark with purpose and desire.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
But now we got to take away the purpose and desire.
Mm-hmm. Try it. Hey, it's really not that unhealthy, right? I mean, I'm a big proponent of meats and fats not being the thing that's making us fat in this modern day. It's definitely the sugars and all the processed
sugars and all the
breads
That's
and
why
stuff
every
like that.
fast food place is just tons of potatoes and everything's fried and
Yep. And so make you some meat. Throw some meat on the grill. Throw some veggies on the grill. Eat like a man, and you'll actually lose weight. You don't have to eat you don't have to eat a little bit like a rabbit. You can eat decent, just eat real food instead of all this processed food we try to eat nowadays.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys, if you try
hard,
that,
but it's true though.
Oh yeah, if you try that corned beef, you'll never go back to put it in the slow cooker. Just so you guys know. Like my wife actually cooked one. What made me think about doing this one is my wife cooked one yesterday in the slow cooker, which I love. But compared to the smoked one, no comparison. It's just not the same.
Yeah.
And it's always been one of my favorite meals is corned beef. So to have it step up that much was just like mind blowing.
It's a cheaper choice too, right? I mean, it's a pretty affordable.
It's cheaper than like say steak, but it's more expensive than most of your pork, right? Because it's a brisket. And so brisket's actually still a nice cut of meat. It's fairly lean other than that fat cap, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so, but I tell you this, what I do every year is I wait till, St. Patrick's Day, right? Everybody buys corned beef because it's an Irish staple, supposedly, right? Mm-hmm. And then go the next day. It's half price. I buy like 12 corned beefs and just stick them in the freezer. I mean, you can't lose. And they have way too many. They're just going to keep them until they go bad. And so they just slash the prices on it, go to Reese's or go somewhere. I mean, you might as well go all out and go to like a nice meat market and buy like a high-end corned beef because it's going to be close to half price probably right after St. Patty's Day. Go in, get you some, and tear it up, man. You're going to love it.
Sounds really good. You was mentioning sugars and stuff in our diet, and this is just like a little interjection. And I never realized this, but I saw a deal where a guy and his wife were doing like a 30-day challenge of no sugar. No sugar at all. They were even trying to cut out even natural sugar, right?
Right. Yeah, no sugar. Yep.
And like at one point they were driving past McDonald's and they're like, well, we could just go get fries, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's not true because actually McDonald's coats their fries with a little bit of sugar.
Yep.
So when they drop it in the deep fryer, that's what gives it that golden look.
Gives it a different crust.
Sugar. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm like, dang, it's even in the fries?
Did you know McDonald's fries have like 19 ingredients?
Really?
Yeah. How can a French fry have 19 ingredients? It's a potato and oil. But no, it's not. They use all kinds of different stuff in their fries. I remember seeing some story on that one day. It
makes me wonder what the original was, though. You know what I'm saying? Like all the old original stuff.
Oh, the original was potato.
How did it get modified and, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, just because it's cheaper and it's more addicting. They're purposefully making food that's more addicting and that's less expensive for them in the long run. I mean, that's what everything is about.
They have scientists that manipulate and make their own things just to get people addicted to come back.
Definitely.
So, for sure. Well, that's going to do it for the show. Boy, we blew through it today.
Yep. We missed you, Hunter, but we still made it without you.
We did. We did miss you, though. But we got through all the info. I think we got a good show. A lot of good info. If you guys have any questions, anything you want to send out, feel free to email us. Email is listed on the website. You can hit us up on Facebook. And don't forget, we're on Twitter and Instagram, so you can follow us there.
If you guys are listening to this, go onto your Facebook and go invite your friends to like our page. It's the biggest way for us to grow. If more people join our Facebook page, they get a chance and opportunity to see our show when it comes across the feed. And so you just go to our Facebook page and you go to the top right corner to the three dots and go to invite friends. And if it's not there on your version of Facebook, you just scroll down in the actual feed and it'll say invite friends right in the middle. And then just invite as many as you can. No shame. No shame. No shame.
Yep. And we have plans. We have other live streaming plans that we're going to be working on. We eventually plan on getting our videos up to where we're actually in the stream, where you can see what we're doing. So we have a lot of things set up. We continue to plan on growing and continually getting better at what we're doing. But we appreciate everybody that's listened. Gosh, we're up to like 260 something listeners that have come through the channel, and just been awesome. So we appreciate everything, and you guys have been great. It's fun. Just stay delirious.
Stay dadding.
And stay gaming. Thank you for listening to the Delirious Dads Gaming Podcast. For more information on our product, you can visit our website at deliriousdadsgaming.com. Also, be sure to check out our Facebook page, where we give up-to-date information on the show, on what's going on in our lives, and news within the gaming world. Please be sure to share and like our page, as we want to try to grow our community and our audience. You can find our podcast on podbean.com. We're also located on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and Stitcher. Thank you for listening to the show. We look forward to seeing you next time.